Hey Internet, this video is going to be the fourth in my series on starting a career as a composer and sound designer, and this one will focus on royalties, how they're generated, how they can be treated, and the different types of royalties as well. So here you go. Royalties. Okay, so those public performance royalties are collected by performing rights organizations, or PROs. You can see the three that are present in the US right there: Ascap, BMI, and CSAC. Ascap and BMI, you can go onto their websites and get a membership right now. CSAC is a bit more exclusive. You have to be invited to be a member, but I do not think that the differences in royalties and payouts are wildly different between them. I somewhat recently switched from Ascap to BMI, but that was much more because of the service that I was receiving. And I also realized that BMI had things structured a bit differently for the mediums that I was involved with the most. So it made sense for me to switch to BMI, but there are plenty of other composer sound designers that are in Ascap and CSAC and have had wonderful experiences. So these public performance royalties are generated. Your performing rights organization collects them. And of what's generated, half of them are writer royalties and half of them are publisher royalties. Depending on your agreement, you may have both of these royalties. As soon as you write something, at that moment, you have 100% royalty ownership. So you are entitled to all the writer royalties as well as all of the publisher royalties. Now, there are lots of companies out there that, as part of their agreement with their composers or other artists, they will say, part of what we get is when this generates public performances, we get half of your royalties, or we basically get the publisher's share of the royalties. And that's fine. There are some libraries that'll say, well, we want the publisher royalties and we want half of your writer royalties as well. So they will end up getting 75% of all public performance royalties. There are a lot of reasons to agree to deals other than just the royalty arrangement. So even though that on the surface sounds kind of poor, there may be relationships, there may be other upfront fees, there may be a whole slew of other reasons why that still may be an attractive deal. So I can't tell you whether or not you should go for one or the other. I will say that there's a library that I work with a lot that I essentially put all of my work that I create on non-exclusive agreements. And they are a completely non-exclusive library, so they don't take any royalties, they don't want any exclusivity or anything. This allows me to lower my cost to whoever I'm working with up front, but then I can put it in this library and then they can pitch it for projects that they're involved with. And since their agreement does not include any sort of writer or publisher royalty aspect of it, I can claim writer as well as publisher royalties for that track. All I have to do is just create a writer as well as publisher account on my performing rights organization website. So, like, there have been some commercial spots that I got through this library, and ultimately, when the royalties were generated, I was able to receive royalties as a writer as well as a publisher. Hey Internet, this is a quick reminder that the video you just watched is one in a series on starting a career as a composer and sound designer. I created about an hour-long talk and sliced it up into different topics, so as those videos become available, be sure to check them out. If you have a question on anything, feel free to throw that in the comments, and if you'd like some game, audio, music implementation goodness in your inbox every once in a while, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much.